Welcome back to the Crude Project, everyone. I'm here with Ant and Kevin the 2 Cent. And as always, we have a great episode for you guys. What's on the dock, buddy?
Well, today we're going to talk about how celebrities like Beyonce, Eminem, Leonardo DiCaprio are starting to mix in with politics. Trump and Rogan did a little collab.
And much more. So, before we dive into all of those topics, you smell that?
Dark bark.
Oceanwood motion. Exotic executive.
Smells like success. Do you want a scent that'll hide your farts? Dark bark.
Do you want a scent that smells like a vacation you can't afford? Oceanwood motion.
Do you want a candle that'll hide the scent of your mistress? Exotic executive.
We told you we would do it. We've partnered with IllumineScents. We've created our own scents. Skip the FOMO. Buy our candles. We'll drop the link for you guys down below to check them out. Stay tuned. If you guys got any value from this, please like and subscribe to the channel for more. Let's dive in. What was the first thing? So I actually want to dive into the first thing. First and foremost, I want to get it out of the way because I have some thoughts. And this was recent. And it was the 3-hour podcast that Trump did with Joe Rogan.
I didn't watch all of it only because I knew TikTok was going to give it to me in them little bite-sized pieces, and I knew I was just going to...
Come on, you're going to rely on that?
Yeah, it was good. I tell you,
Okay.
the first clip I saw
Yeah,
was big, right? So you watched the whole thing, I'm sure.
I did.
Okay, do you remember the part where Rogan was talking to Trump, and he was like, so I heard you open some JFK files.
Yes.
When people don't understand how much he said when he said what he said. Now, he didn't say, he said, I opened the files.
Yeah.
People told him not to. He said, I opened about halfway.
Yeah.
You know, and he said, we need to, though. It's a cleansing. You know, he went through a couple of things, and he was like, you know, some people told me, let's not. And he specifically said, because, you know, some of these people are still alive.
Yeah.
And he said, there's a file on MLK.
Yeah.
And some people were like, okay, I don't get it. But you don't understand. He literally said there was an actual conspiracy that he was killed by the government,
Right.
JFK.
Right.
Those people are still alive who were involved.
Yeah.
There was a
And
file
that
on MLK.
Yeah.
Which-
And that is precisely why he said he doesn't want to open it and go through it more or doesn't want to release that.
Because these people are still alive. So
Exactly.
obviously, pretty much what he said verbatim is, it was almost officially confirmed the government killed JFK.
Right.
Some of the people involved are still alive. Their families are still alive.
Right.
Who have ties to this.
Yeah.
And as well as MLK.
Which that was one of the key moments of that for me, along with a few others. But that was one of the key moments where I was like, okay, so, you know, it's an amazing day for the conspiracy theorists.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Because remember the conspiracy theorists about the MLK, bro. He basically confirmed it.
He did.
MLK, his dying and his life also was not what everyone thought it was. So I highly encourage you guys to look into, dig a little bit deeper into MLK, what it was all, how he lived, and everything that entailed MLK and his death. Highly encourage you guys because
It's a roller coaster.
It's not black and white like they made it seem.
I mean,
Same as JFK.
Hey, okay.
Whoa.
All right. Hold on.
I mean,
Flag on the play. Technical foul. Automatic.
that's
First down.
basically what it was.
Okay, Kev. We said okay. We said wait.
My man doubled down. You know what? Back of the bus.
Get your ass out of here, Rosa Parks.
And her husband had a car. You know what I'm saying, dog? Shit don't make no sense.
I heard about that.
Shit don't make no sense. That's what I'm trying to tell you, man. They don't tell you everything these days.
Maybe the husband was, occupied with the car that day. She had to take the bus.
You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go pick her up from the precinct. You did what? Yeah.
Did I tell you not to sit in the white man's seat?
Ridiculous. Now I got to go pick you up. They're going to be burning little T's in our front yard for the next 3 days. This is bullshit, Rosa. My mother was right about you. No, I'm sorry. We're going on a whole nother tangent here. We're going on a whole nother thing. I don't even know.
If you guys haven't figured out, this is how we are. Okay, we turn everything into something funny.
It's always a joke. It's got to be.
Um,
But that's all I pretty much saw from the
yeah.
the whole podcast. But I'm sure that there was a lot more good information. But I hope he sticks to his word. He said, when I take office, and I like the confidence he has, but hopefully we'll see how it works out. But whenever he does, if he hopefully does just like release this information, but I don't know, because of so many people told him no, and I feel he's not going to have that easy of a path he thinks he will.
Yeah, I think so. There was a bunch of different things that he touched on, including like the tariffs. Some people are for it, some people are against it, but we'll leave it to the more experts, I guess, to do the analysis on that, which is going to be better for the economy, whatever. But
I heard
he
something
touched
about
on
that, by the way.
Yeah,
So I heard like before the federal income tax,
yeah.
that the way the U.S. made money was through tariffs.
Yes, and that is one of the things that he did bring up. He said, "How do we live before the IRS, before the income tax? How did the government operate on this stuff? It was because of the tariffs. It was sell, import, export, and how we were taxing all of that.
And we were rich too.
And we were
as a country.
18."
Well, now China holds those hands now because we get everything from China.
He said it. He said the time frame. It was 18. Don't quote me on it, but you guys can maybe drop it in the comment section. I think he said something around the time frame of like 1860 to 1890s or something like that. When we were doing a bunch of this, this was prominent.
A lot of tariffs. Was
It was prominent,
Trade.
and that was around the time in the 1800s leading up to the 1900s. It was a prominent time of us being pretty well off on our own because of the tariffs.
Yeah.
No, they literally made a committee to decide what to do with all the tariff money.
Yeah, and
Because there's just like, and also there's a list of things, major things that we've built
yes,
within those years using
the tariff
no tax money, all the tariff money.
yeah, and it's crazy because so that was a time frame, right? It was before the 1900s, right?
Yeah.
There was when we were in the 18s, we were doing all of this, and it was all based off of tariffs, no federal income tax, and all of this shit. Afterwards, it seemed like everything started to go downhill because remember when we did the Titanic episode and we covered the Federal Reserve?
Right.
Yeah, the founding of that. That was I believe it was 1912 or 1913.
I think it was it was around. It's very early in the 19s.
Yeah,
When I think it was, I want to say 1912.
Yeah, I believe 1912 was when the Titanic sank. 1913 was the following year of that. Was when the Federal Reserve got
it was somewhere around
established.
that time, something like that.
So everything after the Federal Reserve, just seems like it went downhill. But before that, we were well off without the Federal Reserve, and not to mention we were on gold. Gold was doing great, and the economy was doing great.
Oh yeah, after we left
So
that.
and our deficit,
You were right on the mark. 1913.
Yeah, and so the the debt right now is at like. Can you look up the debt really quick? I believe it's like 30,
It's like 30, almost 36 million.
Yeah.
36
Trillion,
trillion.
sorry.
insane.
It doesn't fit on the screen.
Back then, bro, we didn't have that debt back then.
Yeah.
It all started to go downhill, and
Once the Federal Reserve came into play,
came in, because they started printing and making the dollar basically worth nothing.
Well,
back then
they made
we were
the fiat currency.
Yeah.
I actually, I had read, I saw this video on how they did the whole change during the Federal Reserve. It was like an overnight thing that happened.
Yeah.
So it was so much of a sweep the rug.
Yeah.
So when everyone had gold, I think it was like Reagan did it. Reagan, we left being backed by gold and went strictly to the fiat currency. I think it was in the 60s, wasn't it? Or early 50s or late 50s, early 60s.
Fiat when we were Nixon. I believe it was with 1971 or 1972.
No, that's the gold
Is it
standard. But I think
the
what
gold
you're
standard?
talking about was a lot earlier.
It was Reagan, wasn't it?
No, I think it was a lot earlier. Like 1930s.
No.
There
This was
was like a holiday for a bank.
yeah. I thought that was like in the
I think
early.
it was earlier.
Was it earlier than that? I thought
Like
okay.
they closed all the banks, called it a holiday.
Yeah,
If you
and
guys
then
know
over
the
that weekend.
exact time frame of what Ant's talking about, drop it in the comment section, please.
Yeah, because I can't remember. It was like a documentary kind of thing or something I was watching on it,
Mhm.
and yeah, they did. They made just like Kev said, they made a holiday over the weekend.
Yeah,
And when that holiday was over, banks were closed over the weekend.
yeah.
When they opened on Monday morning, they say, "We don't give you gold anymore."
Huh.
It was like that, and they took it away, and now you no longer could go to the bank and
Yeah.
get the gold. And now
Mm-hmm.
the dollar was being already printed and whatnot, and the dollar was now worth.
Mhm.
You lost 60% of your wealth over that weekend.
Yeah. Oh, is it Columbus Day?
Yeah. Oh, wait, was it
1933.
33? Yeah. Roosevelt administration implemented a series of policies establishing the economy and recovering from a crisis. One of these policies, the confiscation of gold from American citizens. Yeah, so
There
pretty
we go.
much you could not go to the bank and get gold
Uh-huh.
for
Or
your
trade it.
money. You couldn't
Yeah.
trade it like you could prior.
Insane because it was as part of an executive order 6102. So okay, yeah, they legit just executive ordered that shit and was like
It
all
was evidently in response to the
take
Great
everybody.
Depression during
Yeah.
the 1920s
right. Yeah.
to try and bounce back, but it also just robbed
Yeah.
the American citizen of 60% of your wealth overnight.
And
Was gone.
Yeah, with the I know we've mentioned this before, but quick little mention of the BRICS and the BRICS summit that was just happening too. So BRICS summit, what the significance of that is basically our dollar is losing its value big time. Just in the year 2023, 25% of its purchasing power just dropped,
Yeah.
and then we haven't even seen how much it's dropped in 2024. In the BRICS summit, they have a bunch of new members now, and it's getting more and more traction. And as far as the dollar, its value decreasing and all that shit, right? We're seeing a little bit of a trend here with major banks buying gold in the masses now. And it's not just the major banks buying gold in the masses like the JP Morgans and everyone else,
Yeah.
but a lot of millionaires and billionaires are buying gold in the masses now. That is why. What is the gold currently? Like 27 something?
27 now.
2740.
I remember when we looked at
2740 or 2750 is currently like that's
that's
what the
crazy.
spot price
And I
is.
remember what was a couple months ago, I think we were looking, it was like 24.
Yeah.
2740 90.
2740 90. Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah, and this. So what Trump is basically trying to do is save us from this printing of the dollar and continuing to
Ruin our
go-
own value.
Well, go back, continue to go
Yeah.
into more debt. I mean, this tariffs thing, I think it's going to be a good thing, to be honest with you. Bringing more company, bringing more businesses here, and creating more jobs for the Americans, because I mean, it's also about the jobs, right? I mean, we're seeing so many companies mass layoffs. And another thing is, the recent companies have been laying off people in the masses, and the people that they're keeping, they are not giving them any salary increases.
They can't. I mean, the way that,
So-
like you said, the purchasing power is down so much that affects, down to the bottom barrel, right?
Yeah.
So it only makes sense that the mass layoffs and the less of increase, because the very object they give you is not worth what it was.
The thing is, like these companies, these major executive, the board members and everything, the reason why they're not doing a lot of salary increases for their employees is because, well, they're being a little bit selfish here. They're
Of
trying
course.
to hoard. They're trying to hoard more money now. They're trying to do as much as they can to save their necks.
Rough waters are ahead.
Yeah, exactly. Accumulate as much wealth as they can right now before Trump takes office, or actually, it's not even about Trump. It's more so about the purchasing power of the dollar and the people buying gold. It's because of that reason. Because people are seeing that if the dollar continues to lose its value, well, at some point,
Something's gonna change.
The entire economic system might change, and at that point, something drastic is going to happen.
Yeah, and if you have more dollars,
keep more money as
you can make a swap to whatever, because it's going to be something. It's going to be a 1 to something.
Yeah.
And if you have enough, even if you have like it's worth little to nothing, if you have a lot of it, you can kind of restart, right? You can come back to something else. And I mean, it makes sense. But I think it's personal. This is a personal thought. I don't think Trump is going to get us in a good spot, even with 4 years. Honestly, like we're so far in the hole. I think he could do good because he is a businessman. At the bottom line, he's a businessman. He's a billionaire for a reason. Now, granted, some people could be like, "Oh, well, look, hey." At the bottom line, if you paid less than $2 at the gas pump, I bet your ass would be happy, and you'd shut the hell up.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And a lot of people are kind of like trying to shit on Trump about, well, he didn't do much for the economy. He kind of inherited when he came into power from what Obama left. But that's not that is not true, because you got to look at the charts. You got to look at the statistics of that. The graphs clearly show that when Trump came back into power, like the example is unemployment, and like, say for example, the gas prices, they were up, and then the second to last year and the last year of Obama's presidency, gas prices and everything were up. When Trump came back down, he brought that shit right back down. He brought it down to like $1.
I think also people are forgetting that, the whole eating bats happened during his time.
Yeah.
That really
that messed up a lot. And a lot of people just kind of that slowed the economy down too.
Dude, it slowed everything down. And that is another thing. So
traffic was great though.
I like the fact that Rogan brought that up as well. He was like, like why is it that you couldn't do some of these things when you were in office? And honestly, he gave a solid answer, but at the same time, like, I think that answer was not enough, in my opinion. He also did do a lot of, and Rogan also kind of like mentioned this as well afterwards, his thoughts on the whole 3-hour interview. He said he's a great communicator. He's a great speaker. Like, he can talk and talk and talk. To the point where he was like, the 3 hours that the interview went on, they did not leave. He's like, Trump was sitting there for 3 hours. He did not even take one break or take a break to the bathroom, whatever. He just sat there 3 hours.
He just shit himself right there in the seat. Didn't even get up, dude.
Yeah, so he was like, he gave, whenever I asked him, Rogan was saying that whenever I asked Trump a question, he started to give me the answer, but then he would, because he likes to like talk, then he would go on and on and on, and then he would like get off track, and then I had to like respectfully try to like bring him back on topic about answering the main question. Yeah. And he kept going right off the top, and I kept having to go. He was like, so therefore, like, I feel like I didn't get enough answers from him, because he was doing a lot of like storytelling and stuff. And
he was.
A lot
Even the JFK files, he started to kind of and he started talking about people who called him. Yeah. And I can very much see exactly what he's saying there. He's a talker, and he can. I mean, he's an old guy too, so I mean, when you get older, you start to like to talk a little bit about stories and whatnot. Not to even condone it. Like, he was definitely off top. Like, we need, hey, Trump, Donald. Bring it back, buddy. Bring it back. Where you going? Vietnam is over, buddy. Come on back.
But yeah, he did. So when he did ask him about that time frame of the
whole event that happened, that brought the world to a standstill almost, that he was like, well, I was trying to honestly run a country and survive at the same time, because I was being politically prosecuted on so many things. Yeah. And like, they were coming after me, one thing after another, trying to impeach me left and right. So I was trying to survive as the president, and at the same time trying to run the country. And with this
huge event that happened.
An epidemic that happened. That is crazy.
So he was like, I had to balance so many things. And he was like, people will kind of understand if they were ever in my shoes. And I was like,
that's a solid answer. That makes really good sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people here who can't even multitask.
Yeah. So it's tough. I understand. Like, I get it. I really do get it. But at the same time, I don't think it was enough. Like his answers were not enough for me.
Yeah.
Some of them, just my thoughts. Like
I mean, that one seemed pretty. That answer seems pretty solid to me personally, because like you got to think, like if he's trying to, oh, okay, well we need reliefs over here, or we have so many hospitals going on, and then it's like, oh, well, Mr. President, here's an impeachment paper, please look over this first. And he's like, and also you have to now see Congress for this. You have to do a meeting for this impeachment.
Right.
Okay, but I'm trying to, and he's trying to do other things, and they were hitting him with like roadblocks left and right.
Left and right, yeah.
Biden can't even ride a bike, but we're just gonna.
Biden can't even walk upstairs.
I'm telling you, dog. But no,
forget about riding a bike.
But it's a lot of difficult situations that he was put in, and a lot of people do like to push past that. Or, it's completely circumvent it. Like, I'm not saying he's a really great person. I mean, he's probably, fun guy to go golf with. But, like, as a person, I'm pretty sure.
He did talk about his golfing.
And,
he said golfing is another thing that actually he likes, and that the fact that he does golf is keeping him a little bit healthy, because he goes out there, he's out and under the sun, and gets his vitamins and whatever, and he gets swing a little, and like he was playing like some like what was it, like Kev, you might know this, 50 holes or something, like
50.
Yeah, he was like, I was hitting. He was playing with somebody. He was like, we were going up to like 50 holes. I was like, damn.
Isn't there only 18 on a course?
Okay, so he played around 18-hole course. He played around with Bryson DeChambeau. He's a pro.
Oh, okay. So this guy knows the whole story.
There we go.
He just all of a sudden given the timeline.
Jeez. All right, Kev.
And basically, Bryson has a YouTube channel, and he has this series going where he plays with a bunch of other like YouTube golfers, other pros, and like a whole bunch of other people.
Right.
And they play from the red tees, which is the furthest tee up. Usually the ladies play from that tee. And the goal is to break 50. So score less than 50. So 49 under, which is very difficult to do. Like,
he sounded like Trump for a second. Very difficult, very hard to do. Not a lot of people do
Not
that.
a lot of people, you wouldn't believe it.
I was
Not
there.
a lot of people believed it.
I did pretty good, I was there with, what's his name? Bryson, great guy. Honestly, if you've never seen Bryson, amazing YouTube channel. That's how he does. He likes to talk, and then go ahead.
No, I mean, like I saw that video, and it was nice. It was good. Like,
did he do well? He did okay.
Dude, Trump can play.
Wow.
Yeah,
he can play.
Wow. Maybe that's how we need to really. Kamala versus Trump golfing. Kamala didn't even.
Whoever wins becomes the president.
She's up here just digging dirt.
I don't know if that's fair.
Yeah, that's probably not fair at all.
She'll probably miss.
Okay. I can't. Yo, I have something I want to.
All right.
You want to move to the next
We've
part?
been on I think we spent a little too much time on this, but yeah, because we have a bunch of other things to discuss. Last point that you wanted to make, Kev? Did you have something more about the golfing?
Nope.
All right. So let's dive into one of the things.
Yeah.
So you had a point to make.
So yeah, this is about the whole section here. Eminem, Beyonce, Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to say this.
Yeah, we
this whole election has probably been the most celebrity involvement that I've seen, like on a mainstream, right? So like even like last year, I know Taylor Swift kind of got involved like with it a little bit, like at a concert, but like at rallies,
right?
To see Eminem come on stage during the Kamala was a slap in the face to so many people that I thought it was not real.
It wasn't just Kamala. Obama was there too. So he came on there, right?
Yeah.
Eminem came on there, gave his little 2 cents about how we should vote for Kamala, and he endorsed her and everything. And then he brings on Obama right after him. And Obama, he opens up his little speech on the rally because he's campaigning for her. Obama is campaigning for her right now. He opened up his little speech with Eminem's song. He's like, I don't know how I can follow up after that after Eminem like that, because I feel my palms are sweaty, my arms are heavy, knees weak, arms whatever. It started saying the whole.
He started rapping. I was like,
okay, so
we're at concerts now.
So we're that desperate now.
Dude, it was kind of crazy to see like so many Beyonce's getting in there. Fact of the matter, they have dirt on them. This goes in a quick snip, and we all know it. It's turning into a Diddy party checklist. Everybody that is going onto that side, we know, has been to a Diddy party. They've been in them freak offs. They've been oiled up. They got that thing oiled down. You know what I'm saying? They got that thing oiled down. And the biggest, so out of all of them, you know what I'm saying? I can see Beyonce doing it, Leonardo, whatever, sellouts.
Right.
But Eminem was literally anti-establishment. He made songs about killing his mom.
Right.
Bro. And now his latest album was about like potentially having Slim Shady come back. Mm-hmm. The guy who says whatever about paraplegics and midgets.
Right.
Please go vote for Kamala. Like, no, dude, that doesn't add up. But on the flip side, a lot of people are now shooting shots at Tony. You know Tony, the comedian, Kill Tony.
Yes, Kill Tony.
Tony Highcliffe or something like that.
Yeah,
I think
I know
is.
him. Yeah, he was on. He was on
Trump's rally.
He was on Trump's rally, and he did a really good comedy skit with Rogan and them. And,
he always does.
Yeah,
he does with Rogan and the guy Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
and one of them is always
I love his show, by the way, Kill Tony.
Yeah,
it's good.
It's funny, good. And if you know that show, or if you know anything about it, you know how his dark humor is just like it goes off the rails, dude. Because they have Rogan plays as Biden, Shane plays as Trump, and they just do jokes, and it's off the wall hinges. So when Tony got up there and he made a joke about Puerto Rico, about being a floating landfill,
right?
And then I think it was Tim Waltz. I'm sorry. Tim Waltz took it and made it to be like a front stage thing, right? Like, oh, wow. Look how Trump endorsements are just going to be racist. No big surprise. And so then Tony responded on, I believe it was on X, formerly Twitter.
You know what? Tim Walz, why don't you worry about putting more tampons for the guys in the bathrooms, okay?
That's exactly what Tony said.
Oh.
Not even kidding you. He was like, Tim, how about you calm down and change your tampon?
Oh, man.
Because he was like, I like Puerto Rico. He has numerous Puerto Rican friends. And he says, I vacation there often. It was a joke. And everybody was like, oh, I didn't know we were having a comedy tour. So everyone's response is, oh, I didn't know we were having a concert. Because they have Beyonce, Eminem, and then they had Obama rapping. And it's like, dude, you guys aren't doing any better. Like, this is where we're at right now.
Oh, man.
And that's like, oh, the joke wasn't funny. And they used to people comment, I laughed. I thought it was funny. Like, it's subjective. Like, if you didn't think it was funny, that's fine. Like,
dude, they've been trying hard. I mean, they brought Megan Thee Stallion over there, and the previous, I think it was in DNC when the DNC happened.
Yeah, they're twerking and whatnot.
Out there twerking, giving a whole concert and shit. It's not working. It's not working. Yeah. Honestly.
And that's the thing, is that they're so quick to judge, be like, oh, you guys are making racist jokes. Okay, you guys right there got past president rapping and Megan Thee Stallion twerking. Like,
right. Not to mention, like, being as desperate as to bring Beyonce just so that you can get some numbers, right? Get some eyeballs. Well, wild, because Beyonce coming on the Kamala campaign was at the same time that Rogan and Trump released the podcast episode. And same time, 11 hours later, you got Rogan and Trump, the podcast, hitting over 10 million views. And you got Beyonce's appearance gaining about 500K. That's a fact. Look it up.
I mean, it's just it is what it is. You know, people are starting to see a little bit of what's really going down.
What's up?
You know, I'm just looking over to see because I wanted to see what I know Leonardo endorsed, but I wanted to know if there was anything.
Well, he endorsed. He endorsed because, like, here's the thing. I like the guy. I like his movies. Here's
He's
the
a
thing.
good actor.
He's a good actor. I like his movies, but obviously, like you mentioned earlier, Diddy parties. So that might be on that Diddy checklist because yes, Leonardo was. I mean, he just recently came back in the States. He was gone. He dipped out a while ago. Same thing for J-Lo. J-Lo's been gone too.
Oh, we know J-Lo was in that.
so-
Jenny on the block.
Right.
We're
And
like
so-
Jenny on the I'm saying.
Whoa there, buddy.
Hey, you better
But-
calm down.
Leonardo DiCaprio endorsing Kamala Harris was his reasoning for that was that the Kamala presidency is going to do much more for the climate change and that Trump is going to destroy the climate even more. Global warming, all
Trump
that
in office
stuff.
just
And
going to
that
make
was
us
his
have
whole
more
stance.
global warming.
That
It
was
doesn't
his
make
reasoning.
sense.
And I'm just like
See, the
scratching
problem,
my head. Bro.
Right. The problem is when all of these actors,
Yeah.
think about it, when all of these actors want to
Uh-huh.
be in political and endorse,
Right.
how do you know what they're actors, bro? It's
Right.
their job to act.
Right.
Think about it. Like, it makes so much sense to not trust them more.
Right.
When you have somebody who literally acts and is a millionaire, maybe even almost a billionaire
Right.
at this point, who has been acting their entire life,
Mm-hmm.
they're putting on an act.
Right.
Could they? Maybe. Could they not be? Possible. But it's better not to trust it, right? If somebody else were to endorse somebody who's not a good actor, somebody who's just, regular common folk,
Agreed.
that's a better thing to trust. Still, you don't trust everything for face value, but I'm certainly not trusting somebody who's won Grammys. He good.
I'm skeptical of everything. And
Oscars.
Oh, he never won a Grammy? What's a Grammy? That's for
It's for
music?
music.
Oh. He could have won one of them. He didn't try, though. But he won some Oscars.
Well, nowadays, like they got it's a mix of everything. All of these singers are going into movies, and the actors from the movies are going into singing, and vice versa. They're doing these musicals, so they're winning Grammys on top of Oscars. Like the Lady Gaga girl, she won a she was in some musical previously in some movie, and with like Bradley Cooper, I think it was.
I don't know. I don't
She
watch
did a movie with
musicals.
Bradley Cooper, and she won an Oscar because of her performance or whatever. And then, I think it was performance. And then she won a Grammy for the song in the movie.
Wow.
So
Yeah. You're double dipping
so,
hard grip.
So you're not double dipping, hard gripping. So you're not wrong.
I just
Yeah.
I just don't trust that kind of thing when it comes to that. And you have to think, no matter how much you like these people,
Yeah.
and people are getting too caught up in it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you guys just think about it, and it makes sense, and whatever. If you guys don't like it, it's fine. I don't really care. But it is what it is. It makes really good sense when too many actors
Mm-hmm.
are endorsing political sides.
Mm-hmm.
Something's not right,
So-
one way or another. And I'm not trying to still boast for Trump on this. Like if
Yeah.
actors start going for Trump, it's like, all right, well, look, hey, this dude's acting.
And Rogan was asked afterwards in a separate podcast when he was doing with a bunch of other friends of his. I think they were doing the UFC watch party thing. And he was asked to give his thoughts on like, how do you think the Trump interview went? And would you have Kamala Harris on as well now that you had Trump? And he was not opposed to it. He was like, actually, like if she wanted to come, I would not say no. But it would have to be like how I did with Trump. It would have to be like that because he was like, I don't care about your policies or this and that. He was like, that's why there was a lot of questions. It was not about Trump's policies that he
Yeah.
was asking. He was more so asking about like just to get to know him, what kind of person he is. What he was like, I wanted to know how it was for him to go in the White House and how he dealt with everything. He was like, not a lot of people know what it's like once you're in there and how do you handle everything. So because he was like, because they do talk about their policy. So he was like, if I could bring Kamala Harris on the podcast, I want to get to know her. I want to have a genuine conversation about everything that she can tell me about basically how she handled the border and that fact that she's been in the White House for the past 4 years. You know, some of the things that she's been talking about, she's been going on about. Why hasn't she done them? You know, things like that, but not necessarily what you're going to do because you've been saying it. You know, some of the things that she wants to do when she becomes president.
Yeah, but she's been vice president for
So
long.
he was like, I want to have more genuine conversation with her and I want to get to know her on a more human level. So, and then the Trump podcast, that was another level of it, layer of it, I should say. Honestly, I thought it was more humanizing. Yeah. Because
I mean, it's good. It's good to hear that kind of thing, you know?
this was the first, I was not expecting 3 hours. I was not. But he sat there. He was like, nah. And the thing is, like in the back, apparently Trump's team, like an hour in, Trump's team was like we got to go. Trump, like we got to go. We got things to do. And apparently Trump was like, no, I think I'll sit here and have a more in-depth conversation.
I mean, that's honestly, it's pretty only to his benefit, really, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, if he were to just to kind of continue, because since Rogan wasn't like looking for policy questions, and it was more of like him as a person.
Yeah,
it's only a good thing. You know what I mean?
His views on everything, his takes on everything, his opinions, things like that, and that's it's the same type of conversation that he wants to have with Kamala as well.
Well, the funny thing is, I hope if he brings Kamala on, there's a picture of Kamala circulating the internet of her dressed up in the McDonald's uniform.
I saw that.
Have you seen that picture?
Yeah.
You know it's fake, right?
Yeah,
It
it's
is fake.
photoshopped.
Well, yeah, I mean, McDonald's released a statement saying that they have no record of Kamala Harris working in any of their chains, in any of their restaurants.
But I saw you guys said that saw the TikTok I sent you. I said it was in a TikTok where the lady found the actual picture of the lady who she's been deceased for like years, and it was of her like obituary, and it shows the picture of the lady and her name was like Susan Reagan. I think it might have been I think her last name was Reagan.
Okay.
And I could be wrong.
Are you talking about her fake grandmother?
No.
Okay.
This guy's got. I don't think his lady has like any relation to her. I don't think.
Okay.
But maybe. But I don't think it does. And it showed the picture, and the lady was like, she was like flopping between them, and you could just see it was same lady, exact picture. I mean, everything was verbatim, and it was just they just photoshopped Kamala's face onto it, and a lot of people. I don't know why Kamala's like campaign or like supporters were like holding on to the fact that she worked in a McDonald's. Like, I don't know what.
Because they're trying to make her more relatable to the everyday American.
I guess that's got to be
working class American. That's been her thing. Every time someone wants to ask her a question about something, then she like diverts back to, well, my family was a working class family. I grew up from a working class family. She wants to be so relatable to the working class family, and it's always she goes always back to that thing, and it's like, bro, you're not even. You answer the damn question. You're not answering the question. Why are you talking about your family when I didn't even ask you about your family?
True.
Why are you talking about how you grew up and where you worked when I didn't even ask you about that?
They took it down.
Oh, that's wild.
They took the video down.
Of course they would.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Let me try one more.
But like recently, I don't know if you guys have noticed how her poll numbers have been going down, and she hasn't been doing so well. So a lot of the interviewers that she's been doing some interviews with, like CNN, was it 60 Minutes, and recently like what's his name, Anderson Cooper, and like they've been doing it. Really?
They took it down.
Oh, I'm not surprised. But anyways, she's been the recent interviews that she's been doing. They are putting her in the spot. They are hitting her hard so that it makes her look even worse than before. Whereas before, they weren't asking her tough questions. They were like just letting her babble on and on and on. And now they're making her actually look bad because they're asking her tough questions and she's not able to answer them. And she's getting a little frustrated during these interviews. Even in Anderson Cooper, when she was doing it, it was a town hall that she was doing, and Anderson Cooper was asking her some questions, and she like it almost looked like her voice was shaking and shit because she couldn't answer these questions like properly because Anderson Cooper kept pushing her, like to answer the question, and she wasn't giving proper answers. So, but now that makes it look like, oh, okay, so the victory is sealed for Trump. And someone made a good point about that and was like, well, actually, they might be doing this on purpose. They might be doing this on purpose, trying to make us feel like she's done for and that it is a sealed victory for Trump. So therefore, more voters won't even churn up to vote because they're going to be like, well, Trump's going to win anyway, so I don't need to go and vote. And then that's how they get you. And then the Democrats, they actually go in masses and they do vote. But a bunch of Republicans will be in that little bubble and like, you know, they'll think that, oh no, Trump victory is sealed, so I don't necessarily have to go and vote, whatever. So that point was made, and it was like, don't fall for that. Actually do go out and vote because you don't want to fall into that trap. We don't want to wake up the next morning because of those people that fell for it and they didn't vote and they didn't go out there. Next morning, you're going to wake up and boom, Kamala wins. And another thing, just to tag on to that, and then I'll leave this as the last point and I'll give it to you if you have anything else to say to both of you. But this was the last point, that I am still not 100% sure what the hell is going to happen if Trump is going to win or Kamala is going to win. And for one other reason, and it's that Simpsons predicted Kamala winning.
Oh, shit.
Now, I know. You're
They
just
ain't
like,
been wrong yet.
I know. Yeah, I mean, because like people are like, oh, really? That's what you're going by? The Simpsons?
Shit, listen, man, they ain't missed
But-
yet. Even in the heat of battle, they don't miss.
Name me a time that the Simpsons have missed.
They don't miss, dog. I'm telling you. They even
There
found
might
the Diddy
be.
tunnels.
That's what I'm saying. There might be some things in the works, in the background, that everyone else, we just don't know about. We're not aware of.
Imagine
And
we're
the
in a
next
time
thing-
of day where we're
Dog, the
basing
next morning, like
decisions off Simpsons.
November 6th, we're going to wake up and I don't know, bro. November 6th, we might wake up and it might be like the same thing as what happened last time with.
Is there like a FanDuel site we can like bet over and under on this? Something? Can we do something?
I don't know. I think.
There is a betting site. But I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure
think
what
there
it
is.
Let me do a parlay on this.
But
Simpsons
that
told
was
me
my
to.
last point. But anyways, do you guys have anything else?
Yeah,
we'll wrap
it's
it up.
actually just a one last point. And
Yeah.
was it? I think it's Anderson Cooper. I think is the guy that actually he like was making a whole. I think that's the guy. He has his own like podcast or something like that.
White hair dude.
No, okay, so another guy, and I think he's like from another country. He used to be an actor, and now he kind of like super kind of conspiracy guy. God, I don't remember his name. He was in movies like kind of crazy, frizzy.
Russell Brand.
Russell Brand, I think his name is.
Okay.
He made
The
a
British
really
guy.
solid point. Yeah, really solid point on one of his latest, and he was talking about how that whole DOD thing that came out,
Okay.
and he was like, I don't know who is going to win, but think about it. If they were to put something like that into play, what side do you think they would need to put that towards for if something were to happen? And it kind of almost solidifies like a Kamala win, because if Trump were to win, they're not going to need that strong. I'm just going to put dollars to donuts and they're not needing that force for the Democrats. They're not going to come out in masses and riot. The Republicans, it just is what it is, would be more of a physical group. It's just factual, right? You blue collar people, they're more of the Second Amendment. For if there were to be a riot or a distress or even like an event, a black swan event,
Okay.
they would need that lethal force to be implemented against Republicans more than, and I'm not putting Republicans as like savage people, but Republicans are more blue collar, meat on the bones,
Wait. Okay. Finish your thought.
stronger people. And so if Kamala were to win and an uproar were to happen, that's why they would need that lethal force for the military to use and martial law to be put in state.
I'm not convinced on that. I'm not convinced on that because here's the thing. I don't think that the Republicans like now if you were saying this in the context of, well, they are going to have the DOD directive thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have that put in place to maybe start implementing the forceful confiscation of weapons and stuff. Maybe. Now, if you're talking about a more aggressive, violent protest from the Republicans, if the Trump campaign doesn't win, I honestly don't think it's going to. I don't think the Republicans are going to react that way. I think they are going to react in a more lawful manner.
I don't think everyone will.
I think they're gonna. I think they will demand, like they will. I think they will protest. I don't think it will be
100%.
a violent protest. I think they will.
All they need is a
make it-
protest, though.
But
Look at January 6th.
But I understand. But what if it's a? That's a very good point because they can do the exact same thing as what they did.
That's all I think is really going to happen. Like,
But-
granted, there
but-
are going to be people who are going to be violent. There are some. You know what I mean? There's always outliers. But as a majority, no, I don't think they're going to be just, stomping through D.C., guns toting. I don't think, like, pitchforks. I don't think all that. But I do think they will protest. I think there will be rallies. And all it takes is a couple of people to be pinpointed in there, like with Jan 6. And
I agree.
look,
I
boom,
see your point.
martial
on that.
law. We got to do this. The streets are now locked down, and
I see your point on that. I do, but
That's the
like,
only
I'm
way I
seeing
see
a
it
lot
happen.
more. I'm seeing a lot more like unhinged. Yeah, I'll just leave it as unhinged. I'm seeing a lot more unhinged Democrats
true.
because, like, for example, like this recent video that was circling the internet about this one woman that walked up to
Screamed
this,
at the child.
Yeah, well,
Jordan.
Not just that. No,
Her
no, no, not just that. There was another woman. There was a woman that walked up to this person's house,
Oh,
rang the doorbell,
oh no.
and the person wasn't home, so they answered through the Ring doorbell or whatever
Gotcha.
it was, and was like asking them about why are you voting for Trump? Like super aggressive.
How'd
Are
they
you?
know? How'd they know? Okay, so maybe
They
they
probably
have-
had a sign in the front of
maybe,
their house. So
maybe. But I mean, what if they
but,
didn't put it
like,
there?
but anyways, that was
Bold though.
I mean,
bold.
it's a neighbor.
Yeah.
So sometimes you kind of observant, especially when you're a Democrat, you're over there sitting in your blinds and shit and observing who's.
Yeah.
There are Karens like that where
True.
you're just
Oh,
like
100%.
an observer of your next door neighbor who's a Republican, right? And if you got that kind of like apprehensive type of attitude, confrontational type of person. So this
Imagine.
person, like, yeah, walked up and was being super like aggressive and shit about why are you voting for Trump? Are you serious? Don't you know this? Don't you? She's just started saying some like stupid ass nonsense, and the person was like, because I think Trump is a moral candidate, and she lost it. She was like, oh, F you. F you. Oh, you think he's more F you. So you think I'm not moral? Democrats are not moral? F you.
That's when they
Start
need the
losing
ring.
it,
Like
dog.
when you hang up, the ring needs to be like.
Well,
So
she
you can be like,
would-
all right, see you later.
Well, that's how the person was reacting. She was like, okay, goodbye. Yeah, take care. Bye-bye.
They need to hear the audio of the actual ring hanging up just to solidify that. But it still needs to record for like the next like 15 seconds so
Yeah.
you can see him like literally lose it even more.
This clip of
But-
the woman that I'm talking about that rang the doorbell and started going off, it's there. Like, it's circling there and it's going viral. So I don't want to pull it up just because like I don't know where it's at and I don't want to get any strikes. So therefore, I'll leave it at that. You guys can look it up on yourself.
But the lady that was screaming at that kid, she's actually an organizer for Kamala's campaign.
she was doing this on a rally, right?
Yeah, she
I
was
saw
at
that.
a Kamala
And
Harris
this kid
rally.
was in
A stroller.
A stroller.
And the dad like picture her, she's like screaming at the kid. Her name is Jordan something. I can't remember her last name, but
I
it's all
saw that
over it.
video. I was
I was
like,
like,
bro,
what?
are you
But
serious?
the thing is, like, in all reality, and I mean, I might step on some toes here, and I really don't care, but like, majority of the Democratic Party, you don't need lethal force to handle these people. Look how they acted whenever Trump won the first time.
5 finger to the face. That's it.
Dude, they were like, you remember that meme of that one person screaming when Trump won, and they were on the ground.
Yeah. Oh no!
Like, that's all I expect. That's all I expect if Trump wins. Like, the streets are going to be littered with people crying on the floor. Like, we don't need lethal
She
force
was going
for
Super
that.
Saiyan on her knees.
So I'm saying. So that's my thought is like, if Trump wins,
Yeah.
that's the side effect we'll see. 24 hours or 48 hours of people absolutely losing their mind on Reddit, crying, well, I guess I'm going to have to move from the country. And that's going to be like the thing.
Never happened.
But
every time everyone says that shit, and then they don't.
never
and then
do.
They don't go through with it.
They don't do it because they know if they have to go, they have to readjust to everything, and they're too lazy to do it. But either way, that's why I said the DOD directive would only be implemented towards a Republican retaliation.
If you haven't seen the DOD directive, like what are we talking about? We did an episode on this a couple episodes ago, I think. Yeah, it was a couple episodes ago. So if you guys want to check it out, I think it might be episode number 90, if I'm not mistaken.
90 or 91,
something like that. Yeah. So go check it out, and you'll know exactly what we're talking about with the DOD directive. But yeah, those are my final thoughts. Let's you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, that's pretty much all I
mean,
had.
I can say a lot more, but we'll wrap it up here.
We could do a whole 3 hour
episode on this.
my golf swing, pretty good. I was there with Bradley Cooper, whatever his name is. What's his name? Bryson.
Bradley Cooper. Let's leave it at that. Bradley Cooper.
Bradley Cooper. I'm out there with Alice Cooper. Poison, great times.
Oh,
they said I could be in the band if I wanted to. Nah, that's it. It's gonna be a stupid election. I'm already ready for December. I want Christmas to come, if we even have one.
If we have one, and if we do have one,
it's gonna be Hanukkah. Just kidding. Kidding. Take that out, please. I have a wife and kids.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up here. So if you enjoyed the content that we shared here today, follow us for a great commute listen on Spotify, and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. We'll see you guys on the next one.
See.